The Election Commission of India has released the world's largest electoral data set, promoting transparency and allowing for comprehensive analysis. Now, to discuss more on this, I have been joined by Anup Chandra Pandey, former Election Commissioner of India. Sir, a very warm welcome to the broadcast, first of all. Sir, the Election Commission of India unveiled the world's largest electoral data set, 42 statistical reports on 2024 Lok Sabha elections and 14 reports each on 4 state assembly elections. How does the release of the electoral data set by the Election Commission of India support transparency? If you could just explain a bit.
Siddharth, thank you very much for calling me.
Pleasure, sir.
The Election Commission's policy has always been towards maximum disclosure, towards transparency and accessibility of data to all the stakeholders. Now, this has been the practice right from the first elections, and all the statistical reports are put in public domain. Now, similarly, in these elections, 42 reports for the parliamentary elections and 14 reports about the 4 state assembly elections have been released. The practice in the commission is to share this data with all the candidates and their agents, with all the political parties, with all the stakeholders, the media, the researchers, the academicians, the election watchers, not only in India, but even internationally. And the practice is to share it in the public domain with the voters at large. So these are detailed statistics of all the phases, whether it is the registration, whether it is the polling, or whether it is the result. And the data has been disaggregated in terms of all the voters, all the candidates, all the political parties, for all parliamentary constituencies and for all assembly constituencies. It has been broken down state-wise and constituency-wise. Now, this is an authentic source for information. The entire information relating to the elections has been put down in public domain. So Commission shares everything with all these people so that you can make a comparison of the different trends. Because earlier reports are available, so you can see, compare it with the past trends. Even you can compare it with the global trends also internationally.
Indeed. Sir, also the Lok Sabha elections saw a 7.43% increase in the number of registered electors. How do you see this in terms of voter awareness?
Oh, increased registration certainly is because of increased awareness. And the Commission has been working very, very hard on this so that no voter is left out. So there is a special program which is called SWEEP, that is the Systematic Voter Education Program, that is a voter outreach program of the Commission. So every election, after that election, then there is a detailed analysis at the Commission. What are the low voter turnout constituencies? What are the low voter turnout polling stations? And in those areas, we try to find out why there has been a low voter turnout, and these voter outreach initiatives are taken in those areas. The 2 biggest factors are urban apathy and youth apathy. Now, in urban apathy, contrary to what people think, the voter turnout in urban areas, in educated people, is less than in rural areas. So we launch a number of initiatives for in urban areas to promote more voting, to promote more registration. We use self-help groups, we use resident welfare associations. In fact, this election, a number of polling stations had been opened in society buildings, so to enable the voters to vote there wherever they are staying. Similarly, youth apathy the commission focuses more on this 18 to 19 age cohort. So, in educational institutions, there have been a number of electoral literacy clubs to initiate the students in the electoral literacy. Last year, there was an amendment in the Act whereby 4 qualifying dates have been prescribed, that instead of only the registration closing on 1st January, it will be open even on 1st April, 1st July, 1st October, so that whosoever is left out, especially the new voters, he can be registered. The commission last year gave one more concession, that you can apply even when you achieve the age of 17 years, so that as soon as you reach the age of 18, you will be automatically registered. So basically, because of all these initiatives, the registration has increased, and this time there has been an appreciable increase in the voter registration.
Indeed. Sir, women's participation in Lok Sabha elections saw significant rise. In fact, of the 97.97 crore registered electors, 47.60 crore were women, up from 43.85 crore in 2019. And for the second time in Lok Sabha history, female voter turnout surpassed male turnout. Could you shed light on the specific measures implemented by the Election Commission of India, that contributed to the notable increase in female voter participation?
Sure, this is a very important area. And Siddharth, you see, you rightly pointed out that there has been an increase in all the areas, whether it is the registration, whether it is the voting, whether it is the candidates also. So everywhere there has been an increase in registration. How we measure registration? Registration we measure by gender ratio. Now, what is the percentage of voting women voters as compared to male voters? So, and the gender ratio is in terms of 1,000 voters, 1,000 male voters. So the gender ratio in 2010 was 928. Now this election, it has increased to 948. So there has been an appreciable increase in gender ratio in these elections. Similarly, in the polling percentage, the percentage of women voting has been 65.65%, which is more than the male polling percentage. So women voters have outnumbered men voters. As far as representatives are concerned, you see, there has been a record 800 candidates this time, women candidates, which has been a record of sorts. And out of them, again, 74 MPs have been elected. In the first election, there were only 22 women MPs, so which was 4%. Now this has increased to 14%. And now, because of all this, last year this Women Reservation Act was passed. And because of that, after delimitation, when this act will be implemented, so women reservation will still increase from 14%, which is right now, to more than 33%. So there has definitely been a trend of increase of women representation also in the House. Now, the main reason why it is the participation is increasing is because there has been more and more voter outreach, and now women do not feel it as a stigma to come out of their homes. So even in backward areas, so what we do is we whether it is registration or polling or sweep initiatives, the focus is always on women. There is gender sensitization at all levels.
Definitely, sir.
Yes, and when the basic worker is known as a booth level officer.
Definitely.
For registration. So the endeavor of the commission is that there should be more and more lady BLOs.
Indeed.
So what we do is, especially Anganwadi workers or women
and
workers.
Also, sir, Very quickly, given the scale of India's elections, often compared to those in other countries, how challenging would it be for other countries to hold such a mammoth exercise?
Siddharth, now that is something I would not be able to comment because that is their systems. I can only say this particular thing that if you see the scale of operations, now India has almost 97 crore voters. The second largest democracy is USA, which is 1/3 of our voters, 33 crores. And the democracies that are normally mentioned are UK, only 4 crore, or Canada, 4 crore, France, again 4 crore, Germany, 5 crore, Australia, only 2.5 crore. So all these, combined Europe, 45 crore, less than half of our democracy. So our challenges are much more than their challenges. So it will be a huge effort on their part to really come up to the challenges that we have faced. One thing is there, we have this triple IDM, our institute, and that is probably the only institute in the world which trains people in democratic exercise all over the world, especially in the developing countries, whether it is Asian countries or African countries or South American countries. Every year, hundreds and hundreds of officers from there come to study our system, and India, and they study our electoral practices and then try to implement it in their countries. So that way, India definitely wants that whatever our electoral systems are there, so other countries should also try to develop similar kind of systems.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining in on the broadcast, sir. Much appreciated.